Injuries on Parkway Drive and Fairview Drive right now. Bonnie Oaks at Lee Highway, an accident. One on Easterbrook Drive and East Ridge at Tobras Avenue. Hickson Pike showing an accident at Pop Parkway. Bonnie Oaks at Hickory Valley right now. One through there in the last few minutes as well. ETV, don't forget them, the only local television provider with an entire channel dedicated to Chattanooga programming. City Stream on Demand featuring local high school sports, graduations, special events, and more. 648-1372, ETVFI.com. Mike with the Sanchez and the Traffic Center at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
5:06 is the time here at Hot News Talk Radio. I'm Russell. Here's what's happening. We are looking at the weather right now, which is about 75 degrees here in the Chattanooga area, and that's actually the highest temperature that we're expecting from now on. The low is 69, and we're expecting some rather bad weather, actually, for tonight. It's already raining in some Chattanooga areas as well. And tomorrow, 85 is the high and 66 is the low. And we're seeing the bad weather taper off on Friday and Saturday. But tonight is not going to be a good night if you have any outdoor plans, because we are expecting quite a bit of rain. Friday and Saturday are going to be clear, though. Sunday as well. Monday and Tuesday of next week, we're expecting some rain. And Wednesday and Thursday are going to be clear. So that's your weather update from us here at the Weather Center here at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240, where we've got you covered. A suspect who carried an airsoft pellet gun and a hatchet into the Carmike Hickory 8 Cinema in Antioch was killed on Wednesday, police said. Police said that the suspect, identified as 29-year-old Vincent David Montano, was also carrying 2 bags, and he sprayed pepper spray throughout a theater that was showing Mad Max Fury Road. Police originally identified the suspect as a 51-year-old man, but Metro Police Chief Steve Anderson clarified his age at a Wednesday evening press conference. The shots fired call came into police at around 1:15 p.m., and officers responded within minutes. Metro Police spokesman Don Aaron said that 2 South Precinct officers were working a crash nearby on Bell Road when 2 people ran to them and notified them about an incident that had occurred in the theater. The officers then ran into the movie theater. One of the officers entered the theater and encountered the suspect. Aaron said that Montano raised his weapon and pulled the trigger. The officer then returned fire and backed away. Police said Montano was wearing a surgical mask, possibly to deal with the effects of the pepper spray. Gas masks were then brought in to officers because the theater was thick with the spray. Metro SWAT teams then had set up at the back door of the theater, and when Montano came out of the door, officers engaged and fatally wounded him. Aaron said that Montano was the only person who was shot, and so nobody would have been are hurt by the airsoft gun except for very minor injuries, as they only leave welts. That's the most really that an airsoft gun can do. So if someone confronted you with that handgun, you would think that it was a real pistol, said the officer. According to Aaron, an airsoft gun will make a pop similar to a smaller caliber handgun like a 22 or 25 ACP. Aaron said that the police were not comfortable with the contents of the 2 bags that Montano was carrying and that they needed to be destroyed. At least one of those bags was detonated around 4 p.m. on that day. And after the detonation, Aaron described the contents of the backpack as a hoax device. He said that items inside the backpack were designed to look like an explosive, but posed no threat to officers or the community. Nashville Fire Department spokesman Brian Haas said that 2 women were injured from exposure to pepper spray. A man suffered superficial injuries to his shoulder, possibly from the hatchet. And because of the extraordinary efforts of the men and women of this police department, especially the ones that responded to this call, we have no major injuries to anyone, Anderson said. At a press conference on Wednesday evening, Aaron said that Montano had been committed 4 times and was reported as a missing person in Murfreesboro to the police there on Sunday. Montano moved to Tennessee with his mother and sister from Illinois. His mother, Denise Pruitt, purchased the Murfreesboro home back in 2003. Neighbors said the police were called to the home often. Montano was arrested by Murfreesboro police in 2004 for assault on a police officer and resisting arrest. The case was then retired, according to court records. Pruitt no longer lives in Murfreesboro and now lives in Florida. So the incident is now over, and there was not a active shooter situation in the traditional sense, in that there was no actual firearm involved other than the police firing on Mr. Montano, who had a weapon which appeared to be a real firearm, but was actually not, according to these reports. A man has been arrested after allegedly beating his sister with a broom for eating his candy. Chattanooga police arrested Ryan Orr, who's 25, at his home on Matlock Avenue on Monday at about 3:39 p.m. He's been charged with aggravated domestic assault. The Chattanooga Police Department police report says that Orr allegedly kicked in the door to her room and then hit his sister in the face with a broom and struck her with a backpack during the incident. Orr admitted the assault to police, saying that he was upset at her about his candy. He was then taken to the Hamilton County Jail afterwards. So it appears that he's being charged with domestic assault in this case. There's a debit card thief on the loose. Crime Stoppers and the Chattanooga Police Department are now seeking information leading to the identification and arrest of a man who used a stolen debit card. The man used a stolen debit card on July the 18th to withdraw $500 from the Regions Bank ATM at 5515 Brainerd Road. The victim stated that she dropped her debit card in the parking lot, and it's believed that this is where the thief found the card and proceeded to fraudulently represent himself as the victim. And there are photos that have been provided to Regions Bank of at least the car. And it appears that there's not any picture of the actual thief, although there is a picture of the car. To report information on the identity of the thief, you can call Crime Stoppers hotline at 689-3333. The confidential call could be made, could result in a cash reward. There have been 2 dog bites reported in Bradley County. According to these reports, Sheriff Eric Watson said that one person was reported injured as a result of a dog bite on Saturday. The victim, Carrie L. McCabe, serves as a mail carrier and was bitten in the lower body by a male Labrador as she left the porch of the residence of Judy Marie Anderson on Blue Springs Lane. Miss McCabe was treated and released at Skyridge Medical Center. Sheriff Watson said that one person was also injured as a result of a dog bite on Buchanan Road, southeast Wednesday morning. Deputies from the Bradley County Sheriff's Office arrived on the scene at around 8 a.m. and reported Karen Bivens, 55 of 27th Street, southeast, has been bitten on the right calf by a female Chihuahua who left the owner's property to allegedly bite Miss Bivens. The dog was owned by Mary Tapley of Buchanan Road. Ms. Bivens received treatment for the small bite wounds at Skyridge Medical Center as well, and she has been released. The female Chihuahua has been quarantined by law for 10 days at the home of the owner on Buchanan Road. This incident joins several other dog bite reports investigated by the Bradley County Sheriff's Office this year. The Bradley County Sheriff's Office, of course, has a lot on its hands, and dog bites are apparently one of those things. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. You can download the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio. Hot News Talk Radio is also on Twitter, where you report the world decides. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. You can save half off now if you go to hotnewstalkradio.com and click on the half off link for great deals. Hot News Talk Radio is saving you money. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Looking again at the weather, where it's in the mid-70s right now in the Chattanooga area, and we're expecting temperatures to remain that way until tonight, where the high is 69 for tonight. So temperatures are actually looking quite nice for us tonight. Tomorrow, 85 is a high and 66 is a low. Oh, by the way, today we are expecting quite bad storms, so keep that in mind. These storms are going to be actually quite bad for our area here in Chattanooga. So if you are going to be out and about, keep in mind that there's going to be bad weather. And so if you have any plans for being outdoors, make sure you bring an umbrella or a poncho or something of the like to ensure that you stay dry, and you definitely don't want to be driving unsafely in these weather conditions. Of course, you don't want to be driving unsafely at any point. Tomorrow, 85 is the high and 66 is a low. Saturday, 90 is the high, 68 is the low. And Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are looking actually pretty nice with no rain, but Monday and Tuesday, we're expecting the rain to pick up again next week, and Wednesday and Thursday, we're expecting it to be clear again. That's a weather update from us here at the Weather Center at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240. The world's longest yard sale is officially underway. This is the 28th anniversary of the Highway 127 corridor sale. From Addison, Michigan, all the way to Gadsden, Alabama, shoppers are lining up to look for bargains. And as it is now, the longest yard sale is underway. So if you yourself want to attend the longest yard sale, well, find the area that's nearest to you, because it goes all the way from Michigan to Alabama, so there's no shortage of locations. A white South Carolina teen has been gunned down by cops, and it is apparently getting not much media attention after an independent autopsy showed that Zachary Hammond was shot by police from behind. The family of the unarmed South Carolina teen is wondering at the lack of national outrage in this case. and they think that his race has something to do with that. According to the police in Seneca, South Carolina, an officer shot Hammond in self-defense, in his words, when the teen allegedly tried to run him over with a car during a drug arrest. An officer approached Hammond's car in the parking lot of a Hardee's restaurant on July the 26th after an undercover officer arranged a marijuana buy with the teen's date, 23-year-old Tori Morton. The initial police report mentions finding a bag of marijuana on Morton, who was charged with simple possession, but makes no note of the lethal shooting. The official autopsy confirmed that Hammond was shot twice, but did not say from what angle. Hammond's family arranged for an independent autopsy, which showed the 19-year-old had allegedly been shot from above and behind, suggesting that the official police story may be inaccurate. Speaking to reporters on Tuesday, the attorney for Hammond's family, Eric Bland, said that Hammond has been shot in the left rear shoulder and through the back of his chest, indicating that the officer fired from the side of a stopped car through the open window. Bland says Hammond was on a first date with Morton, who was eating ice cream at the time, and that the police should not have used deadly force. Seneca is a city of 8,200 people in the northwestern corner of South Carolina, near the university town of Clemson, and about 30 miles west of Greenville. Hammond's death came a week after Samuel DuBose was killed in Cincinnati, Ohio, under very similar circumstances. University of Cincinnati police officer Raymond Tensing said that DuBose was trying to run him over with his car and that he fired in self-defense. Once Tensing's body camera footage was released showing otherwise, the officer was indicted for murder. Tensing is white and DuBose was black. Some think that that has a bearing in this particular case, and some believe also that the lack of media coverage is due to the race of the teen in this particular case as well. Texas voter ID law is apparently discriminating against minorities, according to the Supreme Court. A federal appeals court has ruled that Texas's voter identification law carries a discriminatory effect and violates the Voting Rights Act. The move is being seen as a victory for the president. The decision was handed down by the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Wednesday, one day before the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. Passed back in 2011, Texas's voter ID law, one of the strictest in the nation, required voters to have specific types of photo identification, rejecting many of those often used by minorities and students. For example, the list of 7 approved forms of identification included concealed handgun licenses, but not university IDs. The plaintiffs, including individual voters, civil rights groups, and the Department of Justice, said the law was discriminatory because a greater share of minorities and poor people do not have access to the accepted forms of IDs, and they lack easy access to the documents that are needed to obtain them, such as birth certificates. The Justice Department argued that the law would prevent as many as 600,000 voters from casting a ballot because they lacked an approved ID. So the Supreme Court has overturned that. John McAfee has been arrested by police over in western Tennessee, according to these reports. He was reportedly, according to the allegations, driving under the influence of Xanax, and he also apparently has been charged with possessing a firearm while under the influence. John McAfee has made several statements over social media, making light of the situation, and he's seen smiling in his mugshot. And the charismatic ex-boss of security software biz McAfee can be seen grinning in his police mugshot. He came out with a statement saying, "Yes, I was arrested while under the influence of Xanax," McAfee told the El Reg on Tuesday evening, saying it was a brand new prescription received the same day of the arrest, and the physician neglected to warn me about driving while taking it. As to the weapons, I always carry them, and unless one is impaired, they are legal to possess and carry. TV news channel WBBJ reported that McAfee, a West Tennessee resident now, was picked up on Highway 22, and the Henderson County Sheriff Brian Duke confirmed to the Jackson Sun that the software guru was arrested on Sunday night. The eccentric playboy has made light of his apparent affinity with mind-altering substances and America's Second Amendment, most infamously in a video which he posted online. Most recently, McAfee has commented on more weighty issues, such as throwing his support behind NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden, calling him a hero, and demanding more privacy for citizens. So he's been arrested in Henderson County in western Tennessee. There was a business fire in downtown Ringgold. A kitchen fire destroyed a popular Mexican restaurant in Ringgold on Wednesday night, forcing nearby businesses to temporarily close. Fire officials believe that the blaze started in the kitchen of Las Maguey, I believe, Mexican restaurant at around 10 p.m. on Wednesday. The flames quickly grew out of control. And Leslie Rodriguez says all he could see was the cooks running out of the back doors, and there was a big cloud of smoke coming from the kitchen. Thick black smoke filled the family-owned restaurant in minutes. Employees helped customers get out to safety. Officials say that the fire badly burned a cook's arm, but it could have been worse. The ceiling collapsed and no one else was hurt. Leslie Rodriguez's husband works as a manager at the restaurant, but was on scene helping to put out the flames as volunteer firefighters, I should say, were on the scene. She mentioned to WRCB that the family is devastated but thankful that everyone is okay. The exact cause of the fire is presently unknown, and the State Fire Marshal's Office is investigating as of now. This is AM 1240, Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Click on the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio, and you can download that on your smartphone and then connect via Bluetooth from your phone to your car radio, and you can listen to us as though you're right here in the studio with us. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio on the TuneIn app. And Hot News Talk Radio is also on Twitter, where you report the world decides. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio and hotnewstalkradio.com.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
If you have the DTs, shake, because your phone is on the fritz, you have nomophobia, you need help. Your telecom doctor is in. Cell Surgeon at Northgate Mall. Cell Surgeon yanks open the ribcage of your phone, pries out the dead heart, and puts in the beating life that you lead on your cell phone. Broken screen, phone not charging, water damage, battery given out? Cell Surgeon in Northgate Mall next to Old Chicago Pizza. Check us out on Facebook, open Sunday. Cell Surgeon, we bring your phone back to life. Mention Hot News Talk Radio and get 10% off.
Surgery does not have to be financially painful. Hi, I'm Surgical Dr. David Red, and I'd like to invite you to my walk-in surgery clinic in North Shore. Quick Surge brings you immediate relief from moles, skin tags, maybe a laceration. Quick Surge. You walk in, fill out a mini form, I numb the area I'll treat, and before you know it, you're on your way home. Do I take insurance? No, because I take cash customers. I have super low and fixed prices, credit card, check, or cash. Uninsured? Member of the working financially disadvantaged? Choose Quick Surge. I publish prices online. No murk, just sunshine. Hassle-free, pain-free. Love the idea of a personal relationship with a doctor? Drop in with a nasty cut from work. Quick Surge. I'll take care of you. Quick Surge in the Public Center on the North Shore. No insurance hassles with Quick Surge. The national medical system is dysfunctional, overpriced, very alienating. I'm part of the solution, and so are you. Come on home. QuickSurge.com. QuickSurg. Relief.
Hi, this is your computer speaking. I don't feel so well. It's like I've come down with a bug, and I'm getting slower.
Affordable Computers. We fix sick computers. Your hometown guys at Affordable Computers will repair your PC in half the time of the big boys at an affordable price. No tricks, no gimmicks, no computer speak technobabble. Just good, quick, and courteous affordable service and repairs. Want to affordably supercharge your PC? Affordable Computers on Highway 58. Affordable Computers hand builds all desktops in-house. If you're looking for a better-than-new refurb laptop, $150 will get you a Dell or another name brand at Affordable Computers. Affordable Computers, Highway 58, between Arby's and Taco Bell. Also Fort O, Battlefield Parkway, near Holcomb's. Affordable Computers, we service what we sell. Call 499-1975. That's 499-1975.
Wow, this is amazing. I'm feeling great. Supercharged.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
524 here at Hot News Talk Radio. Here's Mike Wood with Hot News Talk Radio's Fast Traffic Now.
Thank you, sir, and good afternoon. Just had a report of an accident with Collie at Bailey Avenue. Checking on that one right now. Terminal Road and Hudson Road. Accident there, East Brainerd at Hickory Valley, Bonnie Oaks at Hickory Valley, one through there, Hickson Pike at DePauw Parkway, one on Parkway Drive and Fairview Drive in the last few minutes as well. PDOT cameras were pretty busy up and down the ridge cut there, 24th West Side Drive, 75-24, of course, a bit busy for us this afternoon as well. And, of course, we'll keep you updated here. Mike Wood in the Traffic Center at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
It's 524 over here at Hot News Talk Radio. I'm Russell, and here's what's happening. There was a business fire in downtown Ringgold, which has caused a rather popular Mexican restaurant to be destroyed, well, at least partially, and it has closed as well. Flames were seen shooting out of the roof. Fire officials believe that the blaze started in the kitchen of Las Maguey Mexican restaurant at around 10 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday. The flames then quickly grew out of control. Apparently, there was a lot of smoke coming out of the kitchen, and then employees were seen running out of it. Thick black smoke filled the family-owned restaurant within minutes, and employees helped customers to get out to safety, and employees also helped. And officials say that the fire badly, or rather I should say the fire department also helped. Officials say that the fire badly burned a cook's arm, but it could have been much worse with the ceiling that collapsed, and no one else was hurt. And the owner of the restaurant is apparently a volunteer firefighter as well, and helped to put out the fire. The exact cause of it is still unknown, and the state fire marshal's office is still investigating. Nearby businesses, which are in the same shopping center, had to close their doors this morning. Apparently, they have heavy smoke and water damage, and some are still without power. And to make matters worse, Reina, the cat, escaped from her permanent home at the Ringgold Animal Hospital during the chaos, and firefighters tried to catch her, but she got away. Her owners are asking that you don't approach her and call the clinic if you see her, because she is rather skittish around strangers. Two other cats who were living at the clinic are now recovering from smoke inhalation. Veterinarians say that they are very fortunate that no other animals were staying overnight. Fire officials say that the employee who suffered severe burns to his arm has been taken to the Atlanta Burn Center for treatment. The total damage to the restaurant is estimated to be at around $400,000 to $500,000. Investigators tell WRCB, and they also say that the restaurant is a total loss as of now. Owners of the other business in the shopping center say that they hope to be back up and running within a couple of days. So major burns, and they've been sent to the Atlanta Burn Center for those injuries, according to reports that we're now getting in. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Download the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio, and you can find us on your smartphone. If you have a smartphone, be it an iPhone or a Windows phone or Android phone as well, you can search for the TuneIn Radio app. In fact, it works on BlackBerry even. So if you're old school, you can use it. And then you can use that to listen to us here on Hot News Talk Radio from anywhere in the world through the magic of the internet. You can search for Hot News Talk Radio on Google as well and find our website there. Hot News Talk Radio is on Twitter, where you report the world decides. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. And you can save half off right now if you go to hotnewstalkradio.com and click on the half off link for great deals. Hot News Talk Radio is saving you money. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Plans are now underway for the old Blue Cross Blue Shield building that's referred to as locals as the Gold Building. It's going to be renovated into a Westin hotel sporting more than 250 rooms. The project is expected to begin this fall with an estimated price tag of about $500 million. Sorry, $50 million, not 500. Fortunately, $50 million. There's also a $2 million worth of street improvements that are expected to be happening around the project as well. Back in 2010, brothers Brian and Ken DeFore paid $6 million for the building, which was well off of the $10 million asking price. The building is easily available from I-24 when you're passing through downtown and has sat vacant since 2009. But that's when Blue Cross Blue Shield moved to their current location atop of Cameron Hill. In 2012, Starwood Hotels and Resorts website said that the company planned to open the Westin Chattanooga in just over a year. So the Gold Building downtown, which has been vacant for quite a long time, is now going to be turned into a Westin hotel rather soon if construction is allowed to continue. The Tennessee Army and Air National Guard are apparently going to be allowed to carry weapons on different guard premises. Tennessee's Adjutant Major General Max Haston announced Thursday that the military department has taken steps to increase the security of its personnel and facilities to include the allowance of the Tennessee Army and Air National Guard members with valid Tennessee state handgun carry permits to carry handguns at state armories and facilities. Haston's decision follows Governor Bill Haslam's directive, that was issued earlier this month in the aftermath of the deadly shootings that happened here in Chattanooga, to review current Guard personnel who are authorized to be armed in the performance of their duties and identify and arm Guardsmen where necessary to protect themselves, citizens, and Guard facilities as well. And so Haston has also announced that selected Guard personnel working on federal facilities would be allowed to carry federally issued handguns. Federal law prohibits carrying a personally owned weapon on a federal facility, said Haston. Therefore, selected personnel working on federal property will draw and carry a federally issued firearm for protection. So it's not going to be a personal weapon. However, it'll be sort of considered to be a service weapon that'll be issued by the feds. So they'll be able to pick one from the armory and then use that as a sort of pseudo personal arm. The suspect in that shooting that happened near Nashville in Antioch apparently had an airsoft gun and not a real weapon. The suspect, who carried an airsoft pellet gun and hatchet into the Carmike Hickory 8 cinema in Antioch, was killed on Wednesday, according to police. Police say that the suspect has been identified as David Montano, or rather Vincente David Montano, was 29 years old, and he was also carrying 2 bags, and he sprayed pepper spray throughout a theater that was showing Mad Max Fury Road. Police originally identified him as a 51-year-old man, but it appears he is actually 29, and so they cleared that up. The shots fired call came into police at around 1:15 p.m., and officers responded within minutes. The Metro Police spokesman Don Aaron said that 2 South Precinct officers were working a crash nearby on Bell Road when 2 people ran to them and notified them about an incident that happened inside the theater. The officers then ran to the movie theater. One of the officers entered the theater and encountered the suspect. Aaron said that Montano raised his weapon and pulled the trigger. The officer returned fire and backed away. Police said that Montano was wearing a surgical mask, possibly to deal with the effects of pepper spray, although that would not be very effective. Gas masks were brought into officers because the theater was thick with the spray. A Metro SWAT team had set up at the back door of the theater. When Montano came out of the door, officers engaged and fatally wounded him. Aaron said that Montano was the only person who was shot, and they believe that the imminent threat has ended. Aaron said that the airsoft gun resembled a semi-automatic handgun, and it did look realistic, saying that if someone confronted you with it, you would think that it was a real pistol. According to Aaron, an airsoft gun will make a pop similar to a small caliber handgun like a 22 or 25 ACP or even 32 ACP. Aaron said that the police were not comfortable with the contents of 2 bags that Montano was carrying, and they needed to be destroyed. At least one of those bags was detonated just before 4 p.m. After the detonation, Aaron described the contents of the backpack as a hoax device. He said that the items inside the backpack were designed to look like an explosive, but posed no threat to officers or the community. The Nashville Fire Department spokesman Brian Haas said that 2 women were injured from exposure to pepper spray, and a man suffered superficial injuries to his shoulder, possibly from the hatchet. Of course, nobody has been shot, as the weapon that was used is not really capable of ejecting an actual projectile that would cause any sort of permanent harm. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Download the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio. Hot News Talk Radio is also on Twitter, where you report the world decides. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We're looking at our weather forecast now from the Weather Center, where it's about 76 degrees right now here in the Chattanooga area, and we're expecting quite a bit of rain tonight. So keep that in mind. There's a chance of thunderstorms that's going to be starting up tonight at around 7 or so. So keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling. Rain is going to be expected for us tonight. And again, it's about 76 degrees right now. Tomorrow is going to be partly cloudy with 85 as a high and 66 as a low. Temperatures are cooling off, interestingly enough, for Friday. But then Saturday is going to be, partly cloudy with 90 as a high and 68 as a low. And Sunday is going to be the same. And Monday, 94 is the high with a chance of thunderstorms. And Tuesday, 89 is the high with a chance of thunderstorms. So Monday and Tuesday, we're expecting more rain next week. But then Wednesday through Saturday of next week are looking to be quite clear. That's a weather update from us here at the Weather Center here at Hot News Talk Radio, AM 1240 and hotnewstalkradio.com. We've got you covered. A Chattanooga man allegedly beat his sister with a broom after she allegedly ate his candy. The Chattanooga police arrested Ryan Orr, who's 25, at his home on Matlock Avenue, on Monday at around 3:39 a.m. He's been charged with aggravated domestic assault. The CPD police report says that the suspect kicked in the door to his sister's room and then allegedly hit her in the face with a broom and struck her with a backpack during the incident. Orr admitted the assault to police, saying that he was upset about his candy. He was taken to the Hamilton County Jail afterwards. So he's been charged with aggravated domestic assault, aggravated because there was a weapon involved in the form of the broom, which he allegedly used to hit his sister in the face. Charges have been dismissed at the grand jury level in a case in which a teen allegedly planned to kill his relatives. David Stanfield Jr. told police that he fired a shot at a relative and meant to kill him, but he was only going to fire once to avoid overkill. In the incident on June the 25th, police found 21-year-old Patrick Early in the front yard at 2905 46th Street, appearing to have breathing problems. He said the 18-year-old Stanfield returned with a pistol after they argued when he told him that he had to be respectful to their grandmother. He said Stanfield then raised the pistol and pointed it at him, so he began to run away. He said that he was able to retreat into the home, but a shot was fired at some point, according to the police report. Stanfield said that he got a handgun from his father's car after the run-in, and he said that he ran toward the victim and pointed the pistol at him, but he was unable to get a shot off before he ran around a corner. He said that had the victim been 20 seconds slower, he would have been shot. Stanfield said that he had been treated like expletive by Early and said that his family did not help him. A female told police that shortly before the incident, Stanfield sent a text to her saying that he was going to kill his family and then himself, according to the allegations. Stanfield's been charged with attempted first-degree murder, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a violent felony, unlawful possession of a weapon, and reckless endangerment. His bond has been set at $50,000, but a grand jury has returned no true bills dismissing the charges in that case where he allegedly fired a shot at a relative. So it appears that no bills have been passed, according to the grand jury. The world's longest yard sale, or at least America's longest yard sale, is now underway. The 28th anniversary of the Highway 27 corridor sale is, well, this time. And from Addison, Michigan, all the way down to Gadsden, Alabama, shoppers are lining up to look for bargains at the world's longest yard sale, which is, of course, spanning almost the entire country, going from north to south. There's a Texas voter ID law which the Supreme Court has determined discriminates against minorities. A federal appeals court has now ruled that, and they say that the discriminatory effect of their law actually violates the Voting Rights Act. The move is being seen as a victory for President Obama. The decision was handed down by the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on Wednesday, one day before the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act. Passed in 2011, Texas voter ID law, one of the strictest in the nation, required voters to have specific types of photo ID, rejecting many of those often used by minorities and students. For example, the list of 7 approved forms of identification included concealed handgun licenses, but not university IDs. The plaintiffs, including individual voters, civil rights groups, and the Department of Justice, said that the law was discriminatory because a greater share of minorities are poor and people do not have access to the accepted forms of ID and lack easy access to the documents needed to obtain them, such as birth certificates, according to the Supreme Court. So that has now been thrown out. The U.S. Capitol's gyrocopter landing incident has exposed security flaws and communications problems, according to the Senate. In a 21-page document by the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, they stressed the need for improved information sharing between security officials and called for a lead agency to be assigned to investigate potential flight incursions. Murky lines of responsibility over the airspace above the U.S. Capitol, White House, National Mall, and the Vice President's residence caused breakdowns in communication between the Secret Service, U.S. Park Police, and Capitol Police, the report said. On April the 15th, a Florida mailman, Douglas Hughes, traveled from Pennsylvania to Washington and landed his small unauthorized aircraft on the west lawn of the Capitol. He was apparently carrying 535 letters addressed to each member of Congress in an attempt to bring public attention to campaign finance corruption in the United States. According to the report, the radar failed to detect the gyrocopter as its low speed and altitude made it indistinguishable from a bird, a balloon, or a meteorological pattern. According to these reports, the senator said that the limited technological capability to prevent similar airspace violation in the U.S. Capitol was a major issue. So apparently the technological capabilities are simply not there to stop this sort of thing from happening again. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Download the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio. Hot News Talk Radio is also on Twitter, where you report the world decides. It's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. If you have a smartphone, you can get the TuneIn Radio app and you can listen to us anywhere in the world. If you have a data plan, that makes it even easier for you to listen to us because you can then connect anywhere, potentially in your service area, and listen to us either on the website or through the TuneIn Radio app. It's an extremely convenient way to listen to Hot News Talk Radio anywhere and on the go right here, Hot News Talk Radio and hotnewstalkradio.com. Temperature right now is 75.7 degrees. The high for today is 79. The high for tomorrow is 85. This is Hot News Talk Radio. We're expecting rain tonight.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
We've got a table here at Delia's in Saudi Daisy, ready to delight in a plate of authentic Mexican food. Delia's spreads a rich selection: loaded nachos, crazy chicken, homemade tamales, maybe the enchiladas with beef, chicken, pork, quesadillas. Every dish beautifully pictured on the menu to help us decide. Join us for lunch or dinner. We're at Delia's in Saudi Daisy on Dayton Pike near the Thrasher Light. Here's dinner. Delia's uses the freshest ingredients, cooked to perfection. Nachos, homemade. Delia's open every day except the Lord's Day. For lunch and dinner, treat yourself to Delia's genuine Mexican food. In Saudi, call 521-7145. That's 521-7145.
Are you tired of working in corporate America, or have you recently lost your job and would like to consider owning your own business? If you are, please call me, as I can help you look at franchises or business opportunities that fit you, the economy that we're in, and the type of businesses that are right in the greater Chattanooga area. After I help my clients find the right opportunity, I also help them find the best way to finance the business, including paying yourself through the startup phase. If you would like to learn more about opportunities that may be right for you, please call me for a free assessment. My name is Bruce Krebs at the Entrepreneur Source. Phone number is 423-875-5621.
You want more business. You want to increase your bottom line. You want to spend less on advertising, imaging your business, and general expenses. You need Trade Bank. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Trade Bank. Call now to get access to nearly 400 local businesses. Trade Bank. Call 877-2202. 877-2202. Trade Bank. You want to increase your cash flow, your competitive edge, attract new customers, and build a loyal customer base. You need Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call right now. 877-2202. When you join Trade Bank, you'll get the benefit of free advertising in our monthly magazine, tradebank.com, emails, and mailouts. Join Trade Bank now and receive your Trade Bank debit card with trade credits to spend any way you want with our wide variety of Trade Bank partners. For almost 30 years, Trade Bank has been your voice for small business, a member of the American Bankers Association, and in good standing with you. Trade Bank of Chattanooga. Call now for a free consultation, 877-2202. That's 877-2202. Trade Bank of Chattanooga.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
542 here at Hot News Talk Radio. Here's Mike Wood with Hot News Talk Radio's Fast Traffic Now.
Thank you, sir. I had a report of an accident 75 north right at Lee Highway in the last few minutes. East Brainerd at Hickory Valley. That one's still there. Bonnie Oaks at Hickory Valley. One through there a bit ago. The Chattanooga's still on, I do believe, this afternoon as well. Local service, anytime, day or night, on-time appointments, no mess installations, free of charge. TPB Fiber Optics, truly the smart move. 648-1372, EPBFI.com. Mike Wood, the traffic center this afternoon, and Hot News Talk Radio, of course, AM 1240.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.
543 here at Hot News Talk Radio. I'm Russell, and here's the weather. Looks like it's 75.7 degrees right now, so it feels like it's 76, like we can feel that. So it's 75.7 degrees right now here in the Chattanooga area. It's supposed to get down to around 70 or so, getting into the early morning hours tomorrow. We're expecting low-ish chances of rain here, about 50% throughout the day. So it's a sustained 15%, so that means that probably we're going to get something at some point. Winds are also blowing to the south, so expect that as well. But as it is now, things are looking quite dreary here in the Chattanooga area. We're expecting rain pretty much any second now, so your driving conditions are not going to be optimal, to say the least, especially if you're traveling downtown. However, tomorrow things are actually looking quite a bit better. 85 is the high and 66 is the low, so temperatures are going to be nice and comfortable, and it looks like it's going to be only partly cloudy, according to these reports. Monday, 94 is the high, and Tuesday, 89 is the high, with rain expected on both of those days, and Sunday looks like partly cloudy as well. So the rest of the week, this week is looking fine, and next week from Wednesday to Saturday, we're expecting pretty clear conditions with high temperatures as well. So keep that in mind. That's your weather update from us here at the Weather Center at Hot News Talk Radio AM 1240 and hotnewstalkradio.com. We are everywhere here at Hot News Talk Radio. You can go to hotnewstalkradio.com to listen to us streaming live over the internet. You can also get the TuneIn Radio app to also listen to us streaming live over the internet. If you have a car that has a Bluetooth radio, like so many of us do, you can then sync that up and you can actually listen to us through your car speaker system. So it sounds like you're right here in the studio with us. And you can also go to Twitter and search for Hot News Talk Radio, where you report the world decides. It's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. There was a business fire in downtown Ringgold. A kitchen fire destroyed a popular Mexican restaurant in Ringgold on Wednesday night, which also forced nearby businesses to temporarily close due to smoke and water damage. The flames grew out of control at around 10 p.m. yesterday, and Leslie Rodriguez is the owner of that restaurant, and she witnessed cooks running out of the kitchen with smoke coming out of it. Thick black smoke filled the family-owned restaurant in minutes. Employees helped customers to get out safely. Officials say that the fire badly burned a cook's arm, but it could have been much worse. The ceiling also reportedly collapsed, and nobody else was hurt. Leslie Rodriguez's husband actually works as a manager at the restaurant, but he was on scene helping out to put out flames as a volunteer firefighter. And he said that he is devastated but thankful that everyone is okay. And as it is now, the nearby animal shelter suffered some damage as well. And nearby businesses had to close their doors due to the smoke and water damage. And apparently there was heavy smoke damage to the animal shelter there as well. And so as it is now, Raina the cat escaped from her permanent home at the animal hospital in Ringgold during the chaos, and firefighters tried to catch her, but she got away. Her owners ask that you don't approach her and call the clinic if you see her because she's skittish around strangers. 2 other cats who were living at the clinic are now recovering from smoke inhalation. Veterinarians say that they are very lucky and no other animals were staying overnight. Fire officials say that the employee who suffered severe burns to his arm is going to be taken to the Atlanta Burn Center for treatment. The total damage to the restaurant is estimated to be at about $400,000 to $500,000. Investigators say that the restaurant is a total loss, according to these reports. So this is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Download the TuneIn Radio app over at Hot News Talk Radio, and you can listen to us live there as well. There are plans to renovate the Gold Building, as it's called, to create it, or rather to convert it. There we go. That's the word. Over into the Westin Hotel. Plans are now underway for the former Blue Cross Blue Shield building to be converted over into a Westin hotel. Sometimes it's called the Gold Building by locals here. The project is expected to begin this fall with an estimated price tag of about $50 million. There's also a $2 million street improvement project that's expected to be around the area as well. In December of 2010, brothers Brian and Ken DeFore paid $6 million for the building, which was well off of the $10 million asking price. The building, which is easily visible from I-24 when passing through downtown, has sat vacant since 2009. That's when Blue Cross Blue Shield moved to their current location on Cameron Hill. In 2012, Starwood Hotels and Resorts website said that the company planned to open the Westin Chattanooga in just over a year. So in about a year now, we'll have a brand new hotel in the downtown area in the Gold Building, which I'm sure is going to be an attraction for both people who are not from here and for locals as well. Police say that the suspect in the Antioch Theater attack did not have a real firearm per se, but was actually armed with a airsoft gun, which is, of course, not capable of fatal injury, although it is capable of causing smaller welts, according to the police. So it did look to be like quite a realistic gun. The initial report was of a active shooter situation at the Antioch Theater, and police responded to that. And it appears that it appeared to police at the time that he was actually armed. Police identified the suspect originally as a 51-year-old man. However, there's been a correction to that, identifying him as 29-year-old Vincente David Montano. He was also carrying 2 bags, and he pepper sprayed the theater that was showing Mad Max Fury Road, and apparently he had a hatchet as well. The shots fired call came into police at around 1:15 p.m., and officers responded within minutes. Metro Police spokesman Dan Aaron said that 2 South Precinct officers were working a crash nearby on Bell Road when 2 people ran to them and notified them about an incident inside the theater. The officers then ran to the movie theater. One of the officers entered the theater and encountered the suspect. Aaron said that Montano raised his weapon and pulled the trigger. The officer then returned fire and backed away. Police said the Montano was wearing a surgical mask, which is possibly to deal with the effects of pepper spray. Gas masks were then distributed to officers because the theater was thick with it. A Metro SWAT team set up in the back door of the theater, and when Montano came out of the door, the officers engaged him and fatally wounded him. Aaron said the Montano was the only person who was shot. Aaron also said that the airsoft gun resembled a semi-automatic handgun, and it did look quite realistic. He said that if someone confronted you with it, you would think that it was real. According to Aaron, an airsoft gun will make a pop similar to a small caliber handgun. Aaron said that the police were not comfortable with the contents of 2 bags that Montano had carried on his person, and that they needed to be destroyed. At least one of those bags was detonated just before 4 p.m. After the detonation, Aaron described the contents of the backpack as a hoax device. He said that items inside the backpack were designed to look like an explosive, but posed no threat to officers or the community. Nashville Fire Department spokesman Brian Haas said that 2 women were injured from exposure to pepper spray, and a man suffered superficial injuries to his shoulder, possibly from a hatchet. Of course, the airsoft gun apparently did not cause any injuries. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio, and we're looking at the weather now, where we're expecting some severe weather in some areas here in Chattanooga. And in fact, looking at our radar, we can see some of it moving towards the Chattanooga area, although it is a rather small area of effect. So it looks like it's going to be passing through quite quickly. As it is now, though, temperatures are pretty nice, actually, at around 75 degrees, actually more like 76 right now in the Chattanooga area. And we're seeing temperatures getting down into the lower 70s as the night goes by. And we're expecting rain here in the Chattanooga area as well, with quite a bit of rain and thunder showers for us on our drive home. Friday is going to be partly cloudy with some rain expected then as well. 85 degrees for the high. Saturday, 90 degrees for the high. 68 for the low, partly cloudy. Sunday, 93 for the high. 71 for the low and partly cloudy. Monday and Tuesday of next week, we're expecting a chance of thunderstorms. Pretty high chances, actually, of about a little over 50% going into the next week. And Wednesday through Saturday of next week are looking to be pretty clear, with it being 88 for the high all throughout the rest of next week. So keep that in mind if you're going to be traveling on Monday or Tuesday, that there is a chance of thunderstorms, and there's a chance of thunderstorms tonight as well. So weather is not going to be too good for us tonight here in the Chattanooga area. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. We are everywhere. Listen live to Hot News Talk Radio at hotnewstalkradio.com. Download the TuneIn Radio app and search for Hot News Talk Radio. Hot News Talk Radio is also on Twitter, where you report the world decides. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. You can save half off now if you go to hotnewstalkradio.com and click on the half off link for great deals. Hot News Talk Radio is saving you money. That's AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. A man has been arrested after allegedly beating his sister with a broom for eating his candy. A Chattanooga man allegedly beat his sister after she allegedly ate his candy. The Chattanooga police arrested Ryan Orr, who's 25, at his home on Matlock Avenue on Monday at around 3:39. He's been charged with aggravated domestic assault. The Chattanooga Police Department report says that Orr kicked in the door to her room, hit his sister in the face with a broom, and then struck her with a backpack during the incident. Orr admitted to police that he was upset about his candy, and he admitted to the assault as well. He was taken to the Hamilton County Jail afterwards for that alleged assault. He's been charged with aggravated domestic assault in this particular case, so he's a defendant now. And this is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. Apparently 5 new plumbers have accepted a new contract with the WWTA. 5 plumbing companies have accepted new contracts with the Hamilton County Water and Wastewater Treatment Authority, also known as the WWTA. But James Shipley said that he is leaving. Mr. Shipley, who's a Saudi Daisy commissioner on Thursday, told Cleveland Grimes, a WWTA executive director, that he had failed in carrying out the plumbing program. It was started after all the WWTA customers were required to pay $8 a month to cover the costs of fixing leaky sewer lines to their homes. Mr. Grimes responded that Mr. Shipley had failed to submit a closeout report on unfinished work that was assigned to him. Mr. Shipley said that he had been warned that he would have a blemish on his record with the WWTA if he did not follow the closeout requirements. He said on some of the assigned jobs that he could no longer find the customers involved. He said that he doesn't want a black mark by his name. Mr. Shipley later said that he would submit the report and said, "Gentlemen, you won't hear from me anymore." And so he has apparently resigned from the WWTA. There is a debit card thief on the loose right now who is apparently using a stolen debit card and has used one at an ATM to withdraw money. according to the Dalton Police Department. So if you find this person who's been using a stolen debit card, you're asked to call the Dalton Police Department. They have a description of his card. It appears to be a white Dodge Charger. So call the Dalton Police Department at 911 if you spot that particular person. This is AM 1240 Hot News Talk Radio. There's been a problem in Cleveland with apparent dog bites in Bradley County. Sheriff Eric Watson has responded to that and saying that they have been dealt with. But Sheriff Eric Watson said that one person was reported injured as a result of a dog bite on Saturday. The victim, Carrie L. McCabe, serves as a mail carrier and was bitten in the lower body by a male Labrador as she left the porch of the residence on Judy Marie Anderson on Blue Springs Lane. Ms. McCabe was then treated and released at Skyridge Medical Center. Sheriff Watson said that one person was also injured as a result of a dog bite on Buchanan Road on Wednesday morning. Deputies from the Bradley County Sheriff's Office arrived on the scene at around 8 a.m. and reported Karen Bivens, who's 55, that she had been bitten on the right calf by a female Chihuahua who left the owner's property to allegedly bite her. Ms. Bivens received treatment for a small bite wound at Skyridge Medical Center where she was released. The female Chihuahua has been quarantined by law for about 10 days at the home of the owner on Buchanan Road. This incident, I should say, joins several other dog bite reports that have been investigated by the Bradley County Sheriff's Office this year. Interestingly enough, it appears Bradley County has been having a bit of a problem with dog bites in recent years. And we're getting reports as well about a shooting situation that happened in Austin, or rather Antioch, I should say, where a theater attack apparently used an airsoft gun, according to these reports. So we just got word in as well that it has been confirmed that it was an airsoft pellet gun, not a real weapon that was used in the Antioch shooting that happened on Wednesday. So the only shots fired were from police in that particular case. According to their spokesperson, the police believe that an actual weapon had been used, but that is apparently not the case. The suspect did not actually have any real weapon other than the hatchet, so no firearm was involved. The Tennessee Army and Air National Guard are going to be allowed to carry handguns. The Tennessee Adjutant Major General Max Haston announced Thursday that the military department has been taking steps to increase the security of its personnel and facilities, to include allowing Tennessee Army and Air National Guard members who have valid Tennessee handgun carry permits to carry handguns at the state armories and facilities. Haston's decision is following Governor Bill Haslam's directive that was issued earlier this month in the aftermath of the deadly shootings in Chattanooga to review current Guard personnel who are authorized to be armed in the performance of their duties and identify an armed Guardsman where necessary to protect themselves and citizens and Guard facilities. Apparently, they've been very deliberate in making the decision to arm Tennessee National Guard members. Haston has also announced that the selected Guard personnel working on federal facilities will be allowed to carry federally issued firearms. So they cannot carry personal weapons on federal property. However, they can use issued weapons, which would be federally issued weapons on federal property. So no issued or no personally owned weapons could be carried. Governor Haslam has also directed Major General Haston to review security policies and procedures at National Guard armories and storefront recruiting facilities and other installations to ensure the safety of Guardsmen, citizens, and their property. Operational security prohibits them from disclosing any more information. It's about 75 degrees right now. 79 is a high for today. Rain expected for tonight. 85 for tomorrow. 66 for the low. This is Hot News Talk Radio.
You give us 12 minutes and 40 seconds, we'll give you Chattanooga and the world.
News Talk 1240.